Hey guys, hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Manav and I hope you are doing well. In the last video, I mentioned you about the reasons why you should be doing a PhD, and so in this video I will tell you the reasons why you should not be doing a PhD. So without a further ado, let's get started. So as you might be aware that PhD is a path towards a research environment or an academic life. So if you enjoy research or you want to be a part of academic environment, then you should be considering doing a PhD. If you do not enjoy research or if you do not like the academic environment, then you should not be considering doing a PhD. As PhD is essentially an entry into a career as a researcher, if you do not enjoy research or you do not enjoy being in a part of an academic environment, then you must think a moment before jumping into a decision to do a PhD. A keen interest in your subject or a specific topic is one of the most important factors in completing a PhD successfully, since you will be spending a significant amount of time focusing on these topics you have chosen. Passion for your subject will get you through many tough times and hardships in your PhD life. After your years of hard work, you will finish your PhD as an expert on that particular subject and you would make important contribution in your field. Having said this, here are my top 10 reasons why you should not be doing a PhD. So let's start with number 1. So at number 1 is lack of creativity. If you are a person who does not like to think too much, or you lack creativity and your passion is not to explore new things or to understand things in great detail, then you should not be trying to do a PhD. If you don't like all this, then you should consider once again before joining a PhD program. Number 2 is being patient. If you want to have a successful PhD, you have to be very patient throughout your PhD career. You have to accept the failures of your experiments, the failures of your project, and with a hope that one day you will succeed. Often during your PhD, you will be depressed and frustrated with your progress, especially when you do not get the results for your project. You need to be very patient if you want to be successful in PhD. So in general, if you want to be a successful researcher, you have to have a lot of patience. Number 3 is long and tiring journey. PhD is a very long process. You might be very lucky and you can complete your PhD within 3-4 years, but in general PhD take a very long time. For example, a normal PhD in physics takes roughly around 5 to 6 years. PhD is long and tiring. Some may be very lucky in PhD and get results with very little hard work, but in general PhD is a very tiring and long journey, and you have to keep on trying even after repeated failures in your projects and research work. Only thing that motivates you for a PhD is your passion for the subject, and PhD life is full of ups and downs and uncertainty. By the time you complete your PhD, most of your friends in your age group will be well settled in life with high profile corporate or government jobs. Thus, if you do not want to invest a lot of time and you are not curious of learning a new topic or subject, then you should definitely not consider doing a PhD. Number 4 is not having enough money. So during your PhD, you will be getting a fellowship, but the amount is very small as compared to any regular jobs. For example, if you are doing a PhD in Canada, you will be earning roughly around 2500 Canadian dollars per month, which is very low considering the living cost in big cities like Vancouver or Toronto. The money you will be getting is quite small compared to what your friends might be earning at the same age with just an undergraduate degree. Similarly, in India, you will be getting a scholarship of rupees 31,000 for the first 2 years and rupees 35,000 for the next 3 years during your PhD. So your friends will be earning roughly 2 to 3 times more than the amount what you will be making during your PhD. Number 5 is being tied to a supervisor. So if you are doing a PhD, you would be supervised by a supervisor, and in general you have to listen to all the things what he or she says. For example, you will be tied to work for your supervisor. Often you will be given a task or project which might be boring or unproductive, but you cannot deny it in most scenarios. Also, as a PhD student, you have to do many other activities like taking lab courses, teaching undergraduate students, and grading papers for undergraduate courses. And it's hard to say no to a professor's unreasonable demands because grad students need faculty members in their side. So in general, for a successful PhD, you need to have a very strong, friendly relationship with your supervisor. Number 6 is academic jobs. After all your hard work in doing a PhD and subsequent postdoctoral fellowship, still it is very difficult to get an academic job. Academic jobs are in general very tough to find. There are a lot of candidates with PhD degree and there is a limited number of universities or colleges. Thus, only a handful number of candidates get into academic jobs like a scientist or an assistant professor. Also, you have to do a postdoctoral research for at least 3 years or more if you want to apply for a post of assistant professor in IIT or any research-based universities in India. So getting a full-time permanent position is really hard to get even after getting a PhD. Number 7 is limited jobs. When you are planning to start a PhD, you will be doing research on a specific topic which narrows you down for your job selection. Jobs can be limited outside academia. PhD holders in the humanities department have long struggled to find jobs related to their expertise, but it has also become challenging in the science stream. The reason being that PhD is considered overqualified for most jobs and the skills are very specific, and so very limited jobs are available with a large number of candidates. Number 8. Do you really want to have PhD degree just as a prestige? Then you should definitely consider not doing a PhD. If you just want to do PhD for recognition or prestige, then you are mistaken. Unfortunately, you cannot eat prestige. So of course, during your PhD, you can write many papers, but only a very small fraction of people will be reading it. Thus, PhD degree can be worthless in most situations. Number 9 is hard work. So getting a PhD degree is a really hard time. Sometimes you need to work a long hours. For example, you have to work roughly around 12 to 16 hours a day during your PhD. Furthermore, not only this, you need to keep up your motivation all the time and not get frustrated with your PhD. Number 10 is no social life. Yes, during your PhD you will be very busy and you will not be having enough time to hang out with your friends or families. So most of the PhD students are very stressful as you might be very alone in your life and mostly you have to do many things yourself. Number 11 is unwanted skills, jobs and skills that you don't need. Less than 1% of the PhDs end up in academic career. You may learn many skills like writing papers, programming, designing, presentation, but these skills may not be useful in industries or corporate jobs. As a result, doing a PhD could be very risky.